Hello everybody, and happy Easter to you. I hope you were able to either be present for or tune into our Easter service, thanks to the live stream work that Catherine does every week so admirably. And I hope that you are finding a way to navigate the multitude of seasons that we are experiencing today and the day before. But I'm really excited that we are finally here. We can smell and feel spring wanting to break through. In the Easter service, I indicated that there is always a bit of pressure on ministers because more people typically are present for those Easter services, and everybody knows the story of the empty tomb and the music that usually goes along with it. Well, Chris and I figured this year to try to wrestle with the Easter story, to look at it in a new way from a different perspective. And so, as you might recall, if you looked at the service or if you were there, I tried to suggest that we see resurrection not as the answer to the problem of death, but rather as the dismantling of the framework in which death has the last word. It is a refusal of the despair, of the temptation to contract and slide into whatever comfort you can manage while the world falls apart and people cry out in need. Resurrection is the refusal of that complacency. Resurrection is showing up. It is stepping forth, not with certainty and not with mastery, but in faith. Trusting that your presence, your practice, your compassion, your listening, your caring, whatever it is that you manage to do and are able to do, that it matters. It matters for those who matter. And so resurrection might mean other things for you. So my sermon and this reflection is not intended to displace other views of resurrection if that is where you are at, but I do want to strongly suggest that death is not the problem, that resurrection and Jesus' whole ministry is about. Instead, I would offer that Jesus is breaking with the continuities of culture that overdetermine and predetermine what is possible. The miraculous for a Christian, I believe, is the breaking down of the barriers between what we say is possible and impossible. When something explodes the fixity of those boundaries, I believe we can accurately call it miraculous. So Jesus' whole ministry, which of course for us liturgically culminates in the resurrection or Pentecost, because the resurrection, as John Crossan has observed, is a process of showing up, of continuing the work, which Jesus exhorted his friends, disciples to do. I think it is very important that we don't forget that Easter is not a day, but it is a practice. Resurrection is a practice. It is refusing the computational logic of our day-to-day lives, which is grounded in transaction and commerce. It is saying, yes, that's the world you live in. We all have to pay bills. We have to procure items that we need. But that our ultimate concern should be the establishment and care of a community of faith and practice. And that's what we're here to do as the church. It avoids all those partisan battles. It also takes seriously the struggles, the conflict, and the violence in our world. Resurrection dreams of a world that is different than that, and it dares to practice that. So I invite you, as you go forth into this Easter week and this Easter tide, to imagine and reflect on how you are being invited to practice resurrection, how you are being invited to refuse those temptations to fall back into the way things were or the way things are easier or more comfortable. I invite you to consider what you're being called to do, which is an instance of resurrection this year. Thanks for joining me for this postscript. I look forward to seeing you this coming Sunday for our new Member Sunday and the second Sunday of Easter.